Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna try to explain how Midjourney works in depth, about how you can get pretty awesome images. First of all, excuse me for my accent and the way I speak. I'm from France. Try to speak English the best way I can, so don't mind if I make a few mistakes. So on the screen you can see here, you can see all the results above, and the first one here on my left were made with AI, especially Midjourney, and then I implement those images into my workflow with Photoshop and Illustrator to make some packaging, for instance, or to make some posters or logos, like this. I used, for instance, this Pikachu image, then I went into Illustrator to edit it, make a few changes, and then out of this I can make pretty awesome packaging. I think I left it somewhere here, and yeah, you can make those results pretty fast. I think it took me only 2 hours to make this. So let's get started. In order to make this video, I wrote a little lesson that you will find in the link down below. So it explains all the basics, understandings. Explain all the basics about Midjourney, how it works, how you have to build your prompt, and then I go a little further with the things I use and I do to get better results through Promptmania and through some very specific prompts. Today we will start really with, I will really cover everything. So let's first of all understand what Midjourney is. So it's an artificial intelligence online software, but not really a software because you're not turning it on your PC. You're using it through a chat with a bot. Hi everyone and welcome to this new tutorial about Midjourney. Today I will show you an entire guide on how to use Midjourney. First of all, excuse me for my accent and my English mistakes. I'm French. I'm trying really to do my best to speak fluently, but I will of course make some errors here and there. First of all, I wanted to show you what you will be capable to make with Midjourney. For instance, I got these 4 pictures above made in Midjourney in very different styles, and also these down below on these, both of these down below on the right. So you can use it to make assets, to work further, to work further with in Photoshop, as I did here, to use it in this composition. Then you can also use it to really make different styles of the same thing. Yeah, I didn't express myself well, but you get it. You can make like 3D looking objects, realistic objects, or even illustrations, make backgrounds, isometric art, and of course textures or patterns. We will cover all of those in this video. For instance, here I used this Pikachu I prompted on Midjourney, then placed it on an illustration in Illustrator, where I edited some more content, and then I can use all of this on a pizza box, as you can see, which I sold last week. So let's get started. So during this video I will use this little lesson that I wrote just before. It will be available with a link in the description. I'm covering here the basics. Later on in the video we'll see more advanced techniques. So if you're already comfortable with all the basic understandings of versions, of upscaling, of text weights, then you can go to the advanced section. But I'm really covering here all you need to know about Midjourney to get started as a beginner or a more advanced user. So first of all, you will need to create a Discord account and a Midjourney account as well. If you want to upgrade to the Pro version and get your own bot channel, you can do that as well. For instance, I'm paying $10 monthly. There's also an annual, a yearly subscription. There's also a monthly $30 subscription and a $60 one. All depends on what you're trying to do with the contents. If you're using it a lot, I would suggest you go with the $30 version. If you're like me and use it as inspiration or sometimes just to make a few assets, maybe you can get away with the $10 version, which gives you, I think, 2 hours of GPU, whereas which is something like 200 up to 250 images. This counts as one image, like the 4 little ones count as one big one. So this is one and this is also one. But what I wanted to say is that with a 15-hour subscription, with a $30 subscription, you get 15 hours of running GPU, which will approximately give you like 1,500 images, which is a lot more than 200. So that's up to you to that's up for you to decide. So basics. Midjourney is an online free software. Well, free. You can use it free, but well, you got me. I recommend that you get a pro version, so you're not in a chat with other users. You will get your own chat here, and so you won't be annoyed with all the other stuff people are making. So, well, you can ask, you can give the AI an order, and it will make 4 images out of that order. Once you got them, you can upscale them or retake the job. For instance, if I said, for instance, an image prompt, I said Pikachu wearing a chef hat, illustration 2D happy in a symbolic and meaningful style, flat white background. So what happens? Well, here I will type imagine. This is how you start every prompt. Then you just press space, and here you start your prompt. This is how it gets. Now, if I type in Pikachu, it will make 4 versions of it. It's gonna take a little while, depends if you're running fast or relax mode. Can take up like 2 minutes or 2, depends also on your connection and your computer settings. So while this is running through, we're gonna go a little further. Well, once you have those 4 versions it's gonna give you, you get these little buttons. So U1 and V1, they are related to the first picture here on the left above. So it goes like a Z, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Just U1 is for him, U4 and V4 is for him. So 1, 2, 3, 4. V4 means you can make versions of it, which tells the AI you want a similar kind of result, but slightly different results. So we're gonna do it for this Pikachu, which really looks mad. We're gonna ask for 4 new variations made out of that one. Or we can go with an upscale, which will make the picture bigger and add some detail. It will slightly change the picture. Let's go back while this is working. So keep in mind you only get, well, it's a lot, but you can not exceed 6,000 characters in your prompt. And we are going to see how you have to structure that prompt, what parts you need to make. There are 5 main parts. So I wanted to show you as well, when you make an upscale, you get different versions. You get the light upscale redo, which will suppress a lot of details, and you get a beta upscale redo, which will make it kind of more futuristic or realistic, really depends. And then you get like a straight upscale that I made for this Pikachu, for instance. So you really have different versions. Try them all out, and by trying you will really see the results you get from those. You have to really try everything out, what's going on in this software. So I said here I wanted 4 new versions of this one, and I got them. If I click them, I can see them a little bigger. You can see they all have a very similar atmosphere, but slightly changes. Like here the lightning strikes differently on its ears. He hasn't, the spots on his face aren't always at the same spot. And here is an upscale version. You can see it added some details. Maybe I did not want those. Once I get an upscale, I can ask for light upscale redo, which will make it closer to the original version, or I can go for beta upscale redo, which means it will get even more realistic and futuristic. Here I will show both of them. So we're quickly gonna wait until that's done. As you can see, it can go pretty fast. It really depends on your computer, but also on theirs, because you're using Discord, so their GPU on a local server, on a server in their company, is doing the stuff and then sends you the results over. So here you can see these little eyes or spots have disappeared, and we've come closer to the original version of the image. So if I put those together, you can see that between this Pikachu here and this one, well, they're pretty close, but here, as you can see, we also lost a lot of details and texture, and it's way less realistic than this one was. So we lose a lot of detail. And here we have a beta upscale version. So this one's try to make it more realistic and look more futuristic as well. We're gonna compare that. You can see this one has way more lightning work on it. Details are way better conserved between the original image and the final image, but still little changes have been made, like the spots. So you can also use, of course, this image by just making a screenshot and only keeping this part, for instance, or just downloading the whole image and crop it to the one you want. That's also an option. Remember, these little pictures are 512 by 512 pixels, while these ones are like, I think, 2K by 2K or 1.6K by 1.6, really depends. So let's go ahead. So we're gonna see how you type in a prompt. So the first thing you can add to your prompt is an image URL. If you decide to give the AI the reference image, you should start by writing one or several image URLs. In version 3, you can set a weight, but as this video was shot in January 2023, you can't specify that weight in version 4, but it will certainly come in the following months. So what are weights? They are like the coefficient of importance of your image. The higher the weight, the higher the focus is on that part of your prompt. And vice versa. So if I go to Promptmania, which is the free tool you can find online, just go for Promptmania up. You can go with the prompt builder and Midjourney, and here you can add image prompts. So if I go on internet and I just type Pikachu, I can choose a reference image just by, getting that URL, like copying the image URL and just putting it here. You can, of course, don't go through Promptmania. I just find it easier and directly put that here behind as your first. Oh, I lost the URL, and here it is. Oh, it doesn't want to. Should. Okay, there it is. Why am I struggling? Why am I struggling here? Well, technical issues here, but usually there's no problem with this. I just place my image URLs here. That's why I also like to use the prompt builder. It makes things easier. So here we have an image prompt. Because I'm using version 4, I can't use a weight at this image, but if you were to, you could go into the image, into the Midjourney parameters and set an image weight. So the higher you go, the more importance you give the image. The far away you go, the less you're gonna give it an image, the image weight, the reference image, an importance. Sorry. So I'm gonna stick with that one. Then the second part of of course you can use several images if you like to. Okay, like I can go for another image prompt, right? And I can go for 3 to 4. I think it's up to 10. I don't know. I don't remember, but I think it is. So once that's done, you have to start with the main prompt. In this part, you should write about what you exactly want and what the most important thing is in your image. Give it a superior weight. I'd like to stick with 3 or 4. Shorten the sentence as much as possible. Don't go into details yet. For instance, Pikachu eating pizza. We're gonna go with that one. So I type in Pikachu eating pizza, right? And here I can choose to add a weight, like 1, 2, I'm going up to 3. I usually like to do it so if you're doing this in Midjourney, you can go like Pikachu. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do it with the URL, with the image URL, because I don't know why my paste option just doesn't work here. Technical little problem, I think. I will solve this later. So Pikachu eating pizza, and then I just type like the 2 points right after it. Don't put the space here, like right after it, 2 points and 3, and this is gonna be my main prompt. Then we get to the details. So here the weight is served as a separator between this part of the prompt and the following part of the prompt. Here in the prompt builder, I'm gonna put all this aside. Oh, I closed the Promptmania, sorry. So we're gonna go here again. I'm gonna copy the image address again, prompt builder up here, right, Pikachu eating pizza. Sorry, I lost that. And here I'm going with 3. Okay, and here I'm going for the details. So here it's easy because you can really separate your prompts visually by going into a new section, a new text area, while here you have to separate them with 2 points or with a comma. So this is all explained, of course, in my little lesson here. So the comma can serve as a separator, and the 2 points can serve as well. You don't have always to put a weight after the 2 points, but that's actually what they are made for. But you can of course use them as a separator. So here I want to go into details, like Pikachu is eating pizza at the beach. There's a palm tree, and we're next to the sea. So I want to make it quite important that we are at the beach. So at the beach, and here I'm gonna put the weight to 1.5. Let's go for with 1.5. I think that's okay. So there's a palm tree, and there's also next to the sea. So if you wanted to do this directly in this code, you will go like at the beach, point 2, 1, well, dash 5, palm tree, and here I'm using my comma as a separator next to the beach, right? Okay. By saying that palm tree and next to the beach don't have a weight, like they will be way less important than Pikachu eating pizza. So the focus will really be on my Pikachu. So fourth part of your prompt, the concept and abstracts. So in this part, you should not use weights anymore and only use terms that do not describe the content of your image, but only its appearance, the atmosphere. So I really like Promptmania, which is a free online tool as I'm using here, and just go through. Here you can choose between a template. So I prefer to go with a landscape, depends on what you're looking for, And here you will have a lot of how can I say this? A lot of inspiration to really make the image you want. So you can choose an art medium, and if you're going for an illustration, you could set, oh, okay, I'm going for an illustration, so I'm just clicking on it, and I can always add some weight, can always delete it, and of course you can use as much as you want, and they will add at the end. So those are going to be parts of your prompt. So they have a lot of stuff like the cameras, dimensions. Really, there's a lot of going on. I'm gonna show you a little bit later on the most useful ones. So that will be in the advanced techniques. Here I'm just telling you that you can find a lot of stuff like lighting. Oh, what kind of light do I want in my scene? Well, here's some inspiration. That's how it's changed from the original image. So here I see a landscape. Well, if I use, for instance, some light like sunlight, oh, well, that's kind of light. Natural lighting also, you see. But if I was using some of those terms, well, I'm getting further away from what I was initially making. So really, you can get a lot of inspiration here and fine-tune your image. Well, let's get further. Fifth part of your prompts are the parameters. Well, most of them are only available in version 3 and not 4 yet, but it's going to come. So the image weight, as I said before, not available in version 4, but it is in version 3. It sets the importance of the image. You have the aspect ratio, which means that your image is gonna change from a portrait to a landscape to whatever, to a square. In version 4 you can also only go with square results, as you can see here, but soon the other aspect ratios will be available too. So really take a dig into these ones. You can find all of those on the official website as well. Quality sets the results, time to save credit or upgrade them with costs which cost more credit. So we can go from quality -5, I think, to up to, no, you can go from 0.25 up to 5. Then you have the S, the stylize. This means how much liberty you will allow the AI to have. The more you will allow, the further away from your original prompt it will go. So I'm not using those mainly. The no one, this one is real interesting because you can ban from the image what you don't want. For instance, if I was in this Pikachu here, and well, I didn't want that lightning. Well, I can go with a dash no lightning, like dash no lightning, or dash no thunder. You see, I can add several of them, and they will get rid of that. So if I wanted to work on the same image, I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna show you that next. Then we have the style, which makes a pattern of your image. The style for A and the style for B. So of course there are some others like test P, and so on, but those one are the most, those one here I told about are the most useful, and you will mostly work with those. So this is here I just asked for car, nothing else. So those were the default results. Those were the style with A results, and those were the style B. So here we have a more futuristic look, and it's very clean. The background is not that detailed in comparison with the style for A, which more looks like an animation movie or a realistic video game look. I really like this one though. Here is the style version. So as you can see, there's kind of pattern. It's pretty symmetrical. Sometimes it has some, like, it's not perfect, as you can see here and here, like the pattern isn't that perfect, but you know, you can always fine-tune it later on Photoshop or Illustrator. Here is something I wanted to share with you guys. So if you type in this prompt, you will get those kind of results, and if you use a result that you really like as a reference and then put something else in it, you will get like fantastic results. I will let you play with that on your own. So we're gonna see how to remix the Pikachu I made before. I zoomed in a little too much. So I'm just gonna get rid of this because we still have it in our Promptmania. For instance, this Pikachu, I did not want it with lightning, so I can go in settings here, right? And Midjourney will just show me a lot of settings. So I can go back to version 4, 2, 1. I can go high quality, half quality. I can use the test and the test P, which I mentioned before. I can go with like the remix mode, which I wanted to show you. Yeah, like if you have the total $30 or $60 subscription, you can use the relax mode, which will take more time to give you your results, but will consume less credit. If you have the $10 subscription, you can only go with fast, but that's right for me. If I use the remix code here, right, I turn on the remix code. Instead of making like variations of my image, like if I just set it off, okay, and I ask for variations, it's gonna just go with the same prompt. Whereas if I set the remix mode and I say make variations, a text area will pop, and I can go further with my prompt. No lightning, right? So this is the difference between being in remix mode and not being in it. If you're not being in it, it will just make new variations without fine-tuning the prompt. Whereas if you go with the remix mode, you can just go with the same prompt, and I think you will get closer results to what you were looking for. Here, nothing incredible. This one is really cute, but I think there's something stuck here. Well, those are quite funny. This one is really cute as well. But here you can see that it really did that good of a job. So yeah, we're not that satisfied with that one, but doesn't matter. We can always correct it later. I will show you how. So let's go to so I showed you the remix mode. So what are the best kind of prompts you can utilize to really get what you want? So I think that if you're using Promptmania and to get a very realistic look, you may go for ray traced and ray tracing reflections and or ray tracing global illumination. For drawing, you will have those ones: overall atmosphere, special effects, views, graphic design, colors and lighting. All of those. So those are the ones that I think are the most powerful and the most useful. For instance, if here I go into like just like advanced compound details, no, post processing. Sorry, you can see that this really looks realistic. If I put on really ray tracing reflections, the light's just like awesome. And if I go to shadows, like this one also really looks realistic. So I often use both of those to get something very, very realistic. We're gonna see how this turns out, by the way. And I also like to use colors, like the color palette is one of my favorites, and so on. So you can really find here what you're looking for. Maybe for the lighting you want, maybe you want those lightnings in Pikachu, you can go to material. What can I found? Plasma and energy. Lightning, electricity, plasma. Well, that could work with Pikachu, So I'm not gonna put those in, but here you can really find a lot. So you can also mimic the style of an artist. Here are a few examples. I don't use them as much because I like to respect the work of the previous artist, and I don't want to make something that's exactly like them. I want to differ with my own style, with my own touch. But you can go on, and of course you're not limited to the ones that are present here. Go for really famous people, like for example Leonardo da Vinci. And if the artist you like isn't here, well, you could go with like a reference image. They also use softwares as Unreal Engine, Octane Render. You will have those as well. This one really looks realistic. You can add it if you want. Then I also mentioned some of them, some of the prompts that you will maybe not find on Promptmania, which I really like a lot. Like for graphic design, if you go with the basic, no background, black background, white background, minimalistic look, you can really, get images without a lot of details and just cut them out and use them for Photoshop or Illustrator. Same thing with logo style, symmetrical, flat, front view logo. You can really use them. I think I have some examples when I made the, what results did we, oh yeah. So when I made here the Pikachu, I asked for flat, white background in a symbolic and meaningful style to really make it flat and to not get too much details in the background as I was getting here in the beginning. Like see here, happy flat white background. Well, I was getting still too much detail, and yeah, you can really fine-tune your results, find what you really like. The first Pikachus I got were through ray tracing, like this one here. You can see how realistic this looks. I just said 3D Ultra HD ray tracing reflections. But if you use the prompts that I will put in the link below, you can find, you can easily make the same results. So if you're looking for something really realistic, you just go with ray tracing reflections, global illumination, and high contrast will also help a lot. Also add hyper realistic. You can add all of them. But the more prompts you give to the AI, well, the further away it will get from the more complicated it will get for him to understand what you really want. So keeps things easy and then work with variations or remix mode to just fine-tune. Like, don't start with a 60,000 long prompts in straight from the beginning. So here I have my prompt, which is done. I will just copy it, go to Discord, and just like put it in. Well, yeah, that's not what I asked for. So okay, imagine. Sorry, I have some technical issues with my computer. I think my control key command on the Mac doesn't work anymore. I think I have some issues with it. I should clean it. So anyway, I put the prompt here telling about Pikachu eating some pizza at the beach, palm tree next to the sea, ray tracing, reflections, ray trace. Of course, I could add a lot more from everything I found on Midjourney. Once you're done, by the way, once you find the prompt, you can go like copy it here or simply copy it at the end. And of course, they tell you about the image ratios, the aspect ratios, sorry. And here you have all the parameters. So it's really complete. You really have total control over everything, and it's a free tool. So I really encourage you to use it. Well, let's go find out what it made us. Just checking if we didn't forgot anything. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in a link down below so everybody can access it. And if you want to learn, the best thing is to try a lot yourself to build prompts and make what you want. Use the remix mode, which is now available, and well, let's see what the results are gonna be given by the AI. Maybe I can show you some of the previous work I made in the meantime. So Midjourney, your profile. Well, if you go directly to your midjourney.com app, here you can see what the community is making. You can get inspiration from their work. You can see what prompts they made. You can even copy the prompt. You can see what they wrote, right? The aspect ratio, the version they used, right? And you can find a lot of like really interesting results. But you also have access to your homepage where you can find back all the images you previously made. I think they are gonna set a maximum storage capacity, but you can look at everything you made before. And here, once you have this, by the way, here you can go like, you can copy the prompt, copy the job ID, and use them again for your future images, right? So this is really cool because you can see I made a lot of stuff, right? Let's see what the results are. Still waiting. So you can see really it keeps everything stored. I made some like awesome packagings. So this really gave me inspiration. Then I made those real thanks to Illustrator and other stuff. And I think this is really cool to get some backgrounds, you know, special effects and so on. So still no results. So here we are again with all the results I got. I'm gonna just go through through a few of them. So of course the AI isn't magic. It takes a lot more time to really like get what you want, but I will show you some quick results. Of course, you can always use Photoshop to improve your image, but to show you that it's not that easy, we can take a look. Like all those images, they have defaults. This one isn't great. This one has some errors, some weird background. This one looks, yeah, this doesn't look good at all. This one too, they all have some issues. I think it's because of the ray trace and ray tracing reflection. I should have added that by remix mode, which means that once I've got a Pikachu that's really looking good eating his pizza as an illustration, I should have moved on and then add the ray tracing reflections and so on. So yeah, as you can see, there are some errors, but you still can use those images as inspiration or as a starting point in Photoshop. So this one isn't that bad. You can see that it never gave me a palm tree, but because I'm saying Pikachu eating pizza at beach 1.5, 3 and at the beach 1.5, it gives a lot of attention to those prompts, not the others. So you really have to fine tune sometimes. Like if I go to my Midjourney feed, like when I tried to get this result, like I had to go through a process and do some other stuff, try a lot to find things. Like here you can see all the Pikachus I went through to finally like make this one. You have to do a lot of trial and error to fine tune. Here I really wanted like a submarine like this one, and look, all those I have prompted before, I finally made what I wanted. So it takes a little time. The AI will still improve better and better and better again, but still make some defaults, so still makes some errors. So really be patient, try, and you will get the results you want with a little time, fine-tuning. Really make the AI understand what you want. Use the remix mode a lot. Don't go too far in your prompts. Just use the remix mode and change some things like that could interfere with the result, and you will always get what you want. Not at 100%, but maybe 90%, and from that, you know, you can work on it in other editing softwares. Thank you for watching this video. I hope I will see you again soon on my YouTube channel.